Hi, this is Pankaj Narayan, and I'm a faculty at IIT, and I'm also a course tutor of the course called Material Transformation. And I recently finished a small group session on the topic called as Introduction to Linear Material. There were three learning outcomes I was trying to achieve. Learning outcome number one was to list a wide range of linear materials around us. Number two, to classify a variety of linear materials into categories. And three, to identify and list the techniques that can be used while working with linear materials. And as you can see, as per the Bloom's taxonomy is concerned, the learning outcome number one and learning outcome number three falls into the category of knowledge, and learning outcome number two falls into the category of comprehension. Okay, as far as the background of the students were concerned, they already have a prior knowledge on a variety of planar materials in which they have already worked with planar materials, which are basically sheet-like materials, and they have explored the techniques like cutting, folding, rolling, coiling, etc. And today they're going to get exposed about a new category of material called as linear materials. And after some kind of hands-on experience on linear materials, they will also move on to a new category of materials called as granular materials. Okay, I would like to tell you that how PPC had been a great tool and it was quite helpful, though initially I had an apprehension in kind of using this tool, but it really was helpful in terms of making the structure of the lesson plan quite accurate, and also using the terminology in a correct manner and how to connect it with the Bloom's taxonomy. And I think it was a great tool in terms of planning the time more accurately, and I mean, it can really be helpful in terms of planning every minute of the presentation. I tried using a active learning and approach during my session. The idea was to get the students involved into discussion and even questioning the basic word called linear through a lot of imageries. And the idea was later on also to get them involved into a kind of a brainstorming session. Basically, I tried to make them participate and try to get them involved into discussion. And the idea was to also, I was parallelly reciprocating to the questions which they were asking me. Basically, I was trying to build up an interactive environment during my session. My approach was inquiry-based learning approach, in which obviously no answers were told directly to the students, and a series of planned questions were designed to be asked from the students by showing them a lot of visual imagery. Tried to act like a facilitator during the session. Did not try to give them direct answers, and the idea was to make the students more inquisitive during the session. Also, I tried to motivate the students by involving them at a personal level by asking them questions one by one. So that was one of the techniques I tried to follow. The idea was also to evoke the pre-knowledge of the student and convert that into kind of new learning, which I learned from this theory of constructive learning recently in one of the sessions. And The idea was to build up new knowledge based on using the earlier knowledge as a raw material. And the idea was also how the student construct their own knowledge rather than depending on a tutor who is going to deliver the knowledge to them. I always feel very strongly that the student should go beyond a classroom and not just look at only visual imagery, but also use his own mind's eye, which I very strongly feel, and try to go beyond the academic. Here, the wider context, what I was trying to get the students involved into was to look at linear materials, outside the classroom, outside what I was trying to show them, and trying to make them connect to the real world and where they were able to apply this kind of a knowledge and whether they are able to see some kind of connections in the real world. As far as delivery of the subject matter, the content is concerned, yes, I did not do it in one go. In fact, I divided the delivery in parts and discussed about the subject matter from time to time and tried to inform them in various stages. As far as feedback was concerned, again, I was trying to attend to students individually, one by one, and instead of waiting for the session to end and give them a consolidated feedback in the end, but I was trying to meet them one by one. Yes, I did try giving them a lot of references in terms of giving them some web links, looking at the websites where they could learn about some techniques about the linear materials and can come more prepared to the class. This I thought that this will really support learning. Initially, I had not incorporated the websites, but later on I did, and I think it was quite helpful. As far as assessment was concerned, yeah, a series of quiz questions were asked to the students, and I was able to get satisfactory results. But at the same time, I feel that learning should get absorbed, and there was a series of questions I could plan at after a while. So that's another concept I thought of using it after the session. I very strongly feel that my course is basically a hands-on course, and they should definitely touch, feel, and practice and reflect on a long run, and that will really make the learning much more enhanced. Here, I would like to end my session. Thank you so much.